Cassava has become a major crop in Africa, transiting from a poor man's crop to an industrial crop. However, Africa is yet to derive the full benefit of the crop, as average yield is between 10 and 11 tons per hectare, as opposed to 30 to 40 tons per hectare obtained on research stations. At the launch of the African Cassava Agronomy Initiative, researchers and policymakers outlined how the HACA initiative intends to tackle the agronomic challenges holding back cassava transformation and how the project will change the fortunes of cassava and cassava farmers.
There's been a lot of investment in improving better planting material. Better planting material is important. This is a sick plant. It has a mosaic problem. This plant didn't have that, so you need those better materials. But to create those roots, you need more than that. You need nutrients, you need water, you need good agronomy. And this project is going to fill that gap in cassava. People often say cassava is a crop that grows everywhere, even on poor soils. Right? Cassava loves good soils, just like any other crop. Cassava loves nutrients, just like any other crop. If you follow the logic of the Nigerian government to make cassava a commercial product, you need those roots. And to get those roots, you need agronomy and nutrients.
What I will expect the outcome of this workshop on agronomy aspect of cassava, that number one, they'll be able to look at the production costs per hectare for farmers to consider their pocket. Secondly, we want high-yielding cassava. Then thirdly, quality cassava as the end product of cassava.
I have always believed that we must produce food in ways that create wealth, and have been working on the breeding aspect to come up with improved varieties, for which over 400 varieties are being distributed across Africa, and Nigeria has been being champion of this. But to produce food in ways that create wealth, you must increase productivity and improve varieties. Without the agronomic aspect, you will not get the optimum yield. And I always say breeding contributes about 40% of the productivity of cassava. And so where should that 60% come? Is from the improved management practices, so that we can have at least 25 to 30 tons per hectare, which will make the crop a commercial crop.
Well, like all the panelists have said, at the end of the day, this initiative is geared towards enabling the resource poor farmers. And what is very clear now is that there's a huge gap, as you can see the two plans that have been given here, between what the potential is and what is achieved on farmers' fields. What ACA is going to do is to provide the tools that will enable the farmers to bridge that gap. Just imagine the millions of cassava producers that you have. If you can, with just under the same area, just increase by another 10 to 15 tons, that's millions of dollars, millions of naira, millions of leons going to the pockets of farmers.
From our perspective, on what we'd like to see at the end of the day is for this investment to bring wealth in the small-scale farmers. Bringing wealth means what? That our investment will reach as many farmers as possible, so that their productivity can increase from the current level to the level that is acceptable, like the 30 tons per hectare.
And besides that, another important aspect is that the minister said this morning that, and Bernard also in his presentation, that the increase in production has been as a result of increase in area under production. That is destroying our forests. So what ICA will be doing is to try to improve the productivity per unit area, so that we can go less and less into expanding production, but intensification.
And in terms of the input delivery system, if you don't have the agronomy right, you will not get the optimum that you are looking for. As I said, we have over 400 varieties released in collaboration of our partners in Africa. These are spread all across Africa. So variety per se is not the issue, because Nigeria has released over 46 varieties, so the improved varieties are available. Maybe distribution may be an issue with IIT as we work with the federal government to distribute to farmers so that farmers can get the yield as a result of improved varieties. But improved varieties alone will not take us there. You need the best management practice to go with the improved variety, and that's what ACAI is trying to address. There is very little known about the agronomy of cassava, and this is a good opportunity in this project to ensure that we know the agronomy of cassava similarly like how people know the agronomy of maize, such that when we apply that agronomy, we'll always have the optimum and even the maximum yield for cassava so that it can be industrialized.
This project is not about research for the sake of research. The project is designed in a way that it will address the requests from the end users and then going up to develop the tools that are really suited to the end users. So in such a way that we're not doing the research to publish, but we are doing research to answer palpable, good requests from the farmers.